The Pianedas, Faith in the Storm, Week 5. Abner and Susan walked around the rubble from the wrecked camp buildings. Where will we live? Our apartment has been destroyed. It will be hard to find clean water to drink or food to eat, said Abner. This will be so hard for the people of our country. Look, part of the office is okay. We can stay in this little room, Susan said as they walked around, looking at the damage. And there's plenty of canned food still stored in here. The team of young people who came to help us build the dining hall left this food behind. It will be enough to help feed our helpers, too, Susan said. Abner started looking through the food. We have chicken, beef, peaches, peanut butter, and all kinds of good food to share. God has provided for us again, Abner exclaimed. There was enough to feed Abner, Susan, and all of their helpers for more than a month. Abner started rebuilding the camp. I don't know how to put a roof on a house. I've never done that before, Abner told Susan, but I know God will help me. Up he climbed onto the roof. He and his helpers lifted heavy roofing material, pounded nails, and worked hard in the hot sun to make the camp usable again. God answered his prayers, helping Abner figure out how to do many things he had never done before. Missionaries face many challenges as they learn to trust God. Storms, learning new things, sickness, and dangerous situations. One day, Abner's boss and father-in-law, Mr. Racky, was returning from a town where he had gone to pick up supplies. He drove along rough roads down the camp when all of a sudden there was a herd of oxen in the road. The oxen would not move away. Instead, they moved closer and closer until his little van was surrounded. The big bulls began to hit the van with their large heads. One even tore off a mirror with his horns. Finally, the rancher was able to get his herd away from the van. Mr. Racky was happy to get safely back to the camp. Another time, Mrs. Racky had to go to another building during a rainstorm. As she hurried down the sidewalk, zap! Lightning struck just in front of her. She was safe, but now the camp had no electricity. They had to hold camp without any lights. These are just a few of the many more stories Abner could tell if he was here. Missionaries have many challenges, but they can trust God no matter what. Even today, Abner is helping children get to know Jesus as their Savior. He leads the work of CEF in 20 countries of Central and South America. Abner has a special message for you. He says you can trust God. If God's plan is for you to become a missionary, you do not need to be afraid of raising the money to go. You do not need to be afraid of dangerous situations. You can trust God in the storms. Be willing to give your life to the Lord. If you obey Him, God will use you in great ways. Abner wants you to know these things because he's getting older. By the time you boys and girls are grown up, someone will need to be ready to take his place as a CEF missionary. Will it be you? Many missionaries say they knew from the time they were very young that God wanted them to be missionaries. Maybe God is already speaking to you about being a missionary when you grow up. You can begin right now by sharing the good news of Jesus with your friends and family. If you have been coming to Good News Club, you already know this good news. You can also invite your friends to Good News Club. When you are grown, you can become a full-time missionary. Maybe you'll be a missionary with CEF. You could even be the one God will use to take Abner's place one day.